Hello, my beautiful collective. Welcome back to my channel, Lotusthesage. I am Lotus. Today's reading is inspired by, indirectly, my father, who passed away 2 years ago. He had a very interesting type of book collection over the years, and I was always fascinated with his books, and I used to steal them every once in a while, and regardless, this is one of the books that I've had prior to him passing, but I was looking through that and was thinking of him, to be fair. And so I thought this would be a cool way to see this book of the Pocket Book of Quotations. It was actually published in 1942 in September in the US. So, and again, they're super old. Anyhow, we're gonna flip through it, get a quote, and it will be the prompt into your reading. So I don't even know what's gonna show up. I was just inspired, I was just pulled to certain decks and I just kept laying them out. And I didn't even think about anything afterwards. I had already laid them out and then the book came into my mind. So this is gonna be a surprise reading in all fairness, my beautiful collective. So for our first pile, we have this beautiful crystal. It's an amethyst. For pile 2, we have the Mica. And for pile 3, we have the African Jasper. All right, my beautiful collective, I will see you at your crystals. Hello, my collective of pile 1 who picked the amethyst crystal. Let's get into your pocketbook quotations. The breakdown of what we're doing in this reading is in the instructions if you missed it. So we're going to flip through this. Since you're pile 1, I'm flipping through it once and we're going to stop. Wherever my thumb lands is where we're going to stop. It says independence. I'll pause it here for you, or you can pause it. I'm going to read it to you. It says, if you want to get rich, you son of a bitch, I'll tell you what to do. Never sit down with a tear or a frown, and paddle your own canoe. The expression, Anon, 1880, the expression, paddle your own canoe, is issued by Captain Murat in his Settlers in Canada, 1840. Interesting. Independence. Talking about richness. Don't be, the energy I'm getting is, it's like you can't complain. Like, I know you can, but they're telling me through this quote, there is no need for you to complain because it's just wasted effort. It's about focusing on your goal. It's that they said, pick up that paddle and let's go. Let's keep moving, let's keep moving, let's keep moving. That's what I keep hearing. It's a matter of not allowing yourself to feel sorry for yourself. The pity parties. The why hasn't it happened yet? And this, for me, again, they were talking about riches, but this can be any type of material abundance in your life, or just an abundance in general to feel supported and comfortable, in a sense. But again, this is heavily based on material, your independence specifically, what you can offer for yourself, what you can support, how you can support yourself. So, you guys can't really see the incense that I have lit here, but I'm looking at the smoke, and as I'm reading the smoke, it's heading in the east direction, and east direction talks about clear path, like there's, your path has been cleared. So keep moving. Again, same thing, keep moving. Even the smoke is telling you. That's amazing. Okay, let's get into your cards. We have a lot. So where am I starting? Right here. 2 oracle cards first. Eye of the Needle. Intentionality. Number 17. Again, 8 breaks down to an 8, which talks about abundance. I'm feeling like again, this is all about movement for you, this independence, that rowboat analogy. Now I'm seeing that that eye, like they said, the eye of the needle, but an opportunity that feels almost so narrow. They're bringing me to, I don't know if you've ever seen this, I'm a big animation fan, but it's called Madagascar 3, I think it is. Anyways, it's a circus one, okay? And there's this Russian tiger who, you know, does the impossible, where he goes through like a ring like this, a ring like this big, and the whole tiger fits through it, you know? And he was like praised for it. And it's like this doing the impossible is what I'm getting. That's the point. And it's like finding this beautiful opportunity that's right through this narrow passage that you think you may not be able to fit through, or it's an impossibility is what I'm getting at. Interesting. The key concepts of the eye of the needle are identity, positive self-definition, teaching others how to treat you through the stories you tell about who you are. If you could connect to your true power as a co-creator of your reality, the story originates in your mind. How you think, your conditioning and past experiences, how you view the world, and what you expect to see in it. The truth is, you have everything you need to tell a new tale and weave more blessings into the world as your unique contribution. In fact, practice speaking of your amazing success, your overflowing abundance, and all the love that surrounds you. Soon, the outer world will tell the same story back to you. Again, talking about this independence, bringing in this abundance, this is exactly the same. So this is what your reading is going to be about, my pile 1 Amethyst. And I'm assuming that if this does not resonate, maybe pick another pile or maybe another reading. Okay, continuing. Speaking about lions, did I not? Waking the lion. That's so funny that they gave me that analogy with number 19, which is that new start and movement, right? Well, 2. Partnership. Excuse me. What am I doing? So sorry, they're giving you number 19, right? Which is breaks down to a 2, partnerships, emergence, harmonious connections now, waking that line within, like I said, them bringing up that analogy of Madagascar, you know, doing the impossible, finding that ferocity within you, to find that fight and that drive to keep moving forward, to keep pushing forward with intention. The key concepts of waking the lion: boldness, the courage to move forward even without knowing the way, facing that which is difficult or painful, the audacity to step into the unknown. What type of courage is called for? Only you know, and only you have the power to choose your path. You know that it takes just as much strength and bravery to love and be vulnerable as it does to confront a personal challenge or physical obstacle. So call on your strength and stand your ground, or consciously temper your emotional reactions. Do nothing and trust in your partnerships with the divine. That was a partnership I was getting. Whatever your choice, you will not fail as long as you act with courage and integrity, with intentionality. You will not fail. Beautiful. Let's continue. What do we got? We have one of these and these. Okay, so we have an angel tarot card. 6 of Pentacles, Aladiah. A favorable God, divine grace, cures rage and pestilence, absolves the guilty. That's definitely for this over here. You know, that 6 of Pentacles, the favorable God, the divine grace, it cures rage and pestilence, absolves, the guilty. And I feel that's that need in yourself to wake that line, to absolve whatever mental thought patterns or programming that has kept you stuck in believing that you cannot create what you're desiring, or that it's more difficult than it needs to be. Then we have this fortune card. This is the sign. This is the sign. This is the sign, my friend, for you to move. That's what I'm getting. It's the sign that you're needing or wanting, or the confirmation that you needed to hear. This is it right now. This is the opportunity for you to step forward, to keep moving, to keep pushing. I just hear old song. Keep pushing on, then it's gonna get better. Yeah, things are gonna get better. I don't even know those lyrics, but that's what I'm feeling. Old school. I think it's like 90s dance. Don't quote me on that at all. Fun. Okay. Let us see your Gypsy Fortune cards. We have Sweetheart. Misfortune. And Sorrow. They're bringing me back to the first line in the book, the heading of your quote, which was independence. I'm curious if there has been a split in some way when it comes to partnerships in your life that has brought on this need for you to wake up the lion, for you to get moving, for you to take that step forward, for you to snuff out the flame. And that's not your flame. It's like, that's what I feel like you feel like. It's stuff out the old flame or the old actual flame of person and leave that be. There is this definite, very clear sign of a sweetheart breaking up, feeling sad, straight up. There's no, in-betweeners. And the sweetheart, though, the only in-betweener I would say could be anything, mind you. It could be something that you're really sweet on, like work or a hobby or a person, like we said. It can be a family member. It can be anything. So whatever the sweetheart is, or what you were sweet on, or something of that essence, there has been a misfortune, a tower moment, a crumbling of sorts, which has led to this sorrow, which we see here. And this is where it's coming back to that intentionality, that make the impossible possible. This is your sign. Divine grace cures rage and pestilence, absolves the guilty. So even if this was your doing, my viewer, or was done to you, the point being is it's time to wake this lion. That partnership within you and spirit is what is needed and more important currently than for you to allow yourself to stay in this burning house and feel sorry for the situation or yourself because of maybe you not seeing this coming, not being privy to maybe the emotions behind the scenes of what had been happening that led to this unfolding of events. If this has not to do with a specific partner, Sameshit still applies, right? What is that thing that you're sweet on? How did it crumble? How has this been a misfortune now? How is this breaking down for you to rebuild? There is a natural grieving process that spirit wants to acknowledge for sure, but their purpose is to reinforce and remind you of your strength, hence waking the lion. I'm sorry. I want to read the quote again, and they're saying something about the richness has to do with the richness of self. If you want to get rich, you son of a bitch, I'll tell you what to do. Never sit down with a tear or a frown and paddle your own canoe. 100%. Like, this is never sit down with a tear or a frown, paddle your own canoe. Oh, my loves, I'm feeling this, and there's a sadness but a joy all at the same time because I'm feeling the energy for you, and I know that you're not personally quite there yet in that feeling, but I'm telling you it's coming. And if I can really feel it in my bones where my skin or my bubble blood starts to, it's not like a nervousness, there's like an infusing in my skin. That's what it feels like. Okay. All right, let's see what Madame Endora has to add. The spider. The spider. Be meticulous and patient. Fair. And the dragon. Strength and wisdom. That's amazing. This is exactly what's being brought in for you. Be meticulous with your time, with what you do, with how you think and your thoughts, and be patient with what's going to transpire and how the end result will be. The dragon, same thing, strength and wisdom, right beside that lion. It's just gaining wisdom from this past experience, not allowing yourself to be brought down to rubble in a sense, and that could be monetarily, financially, that can be emotionally, that can just be in any way possible. Allowing your time for you to grieve, but know that the sign is they don't want you to sit here. They don't want you to stay there. They get it, 112%, but for where you want to be and to get out of this feeling, you gotta keep moving. You can't stay stuck here. You know, don't sit down with a tear or a frown. Get that paddle and paddle your own canoe. Find that intentionality within your independence and wake that sleeping lion. Okay, let's see what your I Ching has to add. Moderation, reduce the excessive. And I feel that this is talking about, if we're coming back to that if we're coming back to that quote of if you want to gain how to get rich, let me tell you how to get rich. You know, it's now, and especially if there is a split and a separation where there is assets that are to be divided, be mindful of how you're using your resources currently until everything is finalized, until your emotions in particular is what they're saying is more finalized. And that could be the reduce the excessive overthinking, this went so wrong, what did I do, how was it my fault, etc., etc. They just want you to like moderate your thoughts, moderate how you're spending, moderate your time. Be gentle with yourself. And then we have difficult beginnings, focus on your principles. Yep. And this is a new beginning for you. I can feel it 100%. I am honest to goodness feeling the strongest. This is an actual separation. Like, it's not an if or what, it's final. It's a separation. So if this has to do with a person or a work environment or a family dynamic, it is permanent. Yes, I almost hesitated to say, but like, yeah, it's permanent. Meaning in the feeling, in the thoughts, like you can't come back to this, or whoever this, or whatever happened, they can't come back from this. It has been burnt to the ground, quite literally. Ash and soot. See that person flying out that building too? I feel like that's the culprit. Whether that is you, my viewer, or the people or things involved, that's what's happened. You've been thrown out. Off kilter. But you will survive, and you do survive. You are surviving. That strength and wisdom that you are gaining, the difficult beginnings that you're undertaking currently, to my belief. Focus on the principles. What do you need to do? Get that paddle and frickin' canoe. You know, be meticulous and patient. Moderation, same thing with meticulous. The same feeling as meticulous, right? Reduce the excessive. That's that patience. Beauty. Okay, what's the astrological influence? Sagittarius, the Voyager. Yep. That enthusiastic, can you see this here? Yeah, I'll put this over here. That enthusiastic Voyager, talking about moving and going, right? Also talks about that independence, that generosity, that ethically seeking something more, this excitement for life, this unbridled luck almost, boundless energy, risk-taking, self-righteousness in a sense. You need all of this right now, and that's all of that lion to me. And especially when we were talking about going, traveling, right? Movement. It's time. This is the sign. You need to embody some of the Sagittarian essence to come out of this misfortune and this destruction that you feel. I'm hearing this was just wrong. It was just wrong. I feel for you. Spirit has not left you. You are not abandoned. This is the reason why we are coming through in these archetypes, for you to pull on our energy, to sit up and stand up straight. We feel and see your tears, and this is the paddle in which you need to use this canoe in. Your river of tears right now, you need to keep moving. Okay, let's see what... Actually, I want to do these after. Let's do your tarot first. First card we have is Ace of Cups in reverse. We have the Witch, which is the Magician in this deck. And the Four of Cups. Then we have the Sun underneath the Ace of Cups. Three of Wands underneath the Magician or the Witch. And Seven of Wands underneath the Four of Cups. As we can see, this Ace of Cups in the reverse, echoing back to this lost love or expired love or love that has completed. And now stepping into the Witch with this new opportunity, to create something new. But as she's looking back at that Ace of Cups in reverse, and it also looks like there's like a pouring down from her hand, you know, and it's, I know that's what she's looking at. I don't know if you guys can see what I'm looking at here. So you can see this pouring out of her hand, right? And if you're looking this way, it almost looks like she's looking at that cup of what she's poured into it and just going right into the floor. Not that it's not helpful and nurturing, but that's the metaphor that I'm getting. It's like all this love and time and effort I put into this, which is leaving you in this discontent, but also an opportunity to pause, to meditate, to reflect, to see that there is a new possibility and something that would be of more benefit to your future growth if you were to allow this to release from your mind, from your heart. So underneath that Ace of Cups, with that reversal of Ace of Cups, is that Sun. Again, that new opportunity of something that feels like a blessing in disguise, in other words. And it's not even in disguise. That's why I didn't want to use that phrase. It's not a disguise. It feels like a fucking like slap in the face. That's what it feels like, you know? And you're like, how can this be a fucking blessing? Sorry for all the swearing, but that's what I feel. I feel that bothered, you know? But Spirit is saying it is here. There's a new opportunity for something that you've actually been wanting more of. You've been seeking and in your spirit been calling for. That reciprocity and balance that I don't think was quite there. But I don't feel like you would have moved if Spirit didn't bring in this misfortune. Like you wouldn't have moved. You would have stayed there in this content land and then been oblivious to what you were lacking, and then it would have came up in a different way. Through the body, they said, emotionally or mentally. It would have made you sick. Seven of Wands underneath this Four of Cups, right? Taking that opportunity and again, standing your ground, that valor, that victory, that strength, that movement forward, about waking that lion within, meticulous and patient. That Voyager, enthusiastic and ethically sound, beautiful being, approaching the new beginnings, the difficult beginnings, with focused principles now. Because you've learned from this, and that is the new opportunity here. I can grow from this experience. I do not need to stay in this wallowing for too long, to allow my tears to overtake my days, to allow this sorrow to bleed into somebody else's life. I will conquer this. I will honor it, and I will keep moving. Beautiful. Let's see the answers you seek. We have, hold on. Yeah, man. This is my deck, by the way. Hold on. Turn around. And I think that's that look. It's like you're looking back to see what it was that may have been, you know, a contributor to the feelings that you're feeling, what you're going through, how it happened. And I'm also getting this, look at what you've accomplished though, or look at what you will accomplish once you've really taken time to observe the connection. observe your part in the connections. And then we have Saturday sets it straight. Maybe some news will come in on a Saturday. Maybe there will be some clarity for you that comes in on a Saturday. That's why they're asking you to hold on. This is maybe more information will be brought to light. And maybe that's what that turnaround is. You don't have everything fully, you're not privy to everything fully. Not everything has been brought up to the surface. So I feel like, again, this finalization is in the process right now. And so to be patient and meticulous, to go over the details, cross your T's, dot your I's, make sure everything is covered, and accept where you are. That's what it is. And I think that's why they're trying to not emphasize the staying in the wallowing. It's like you have things to take care of right now. Take care of them first. Get your stuff in order, and then you'll have this place to allow for the grief, or allow just for the space to be like, ooh, to see the blessing. You know, not to say that it's going to be any easier or harder for that matter. It's just for you to be able to see it. And then maybe that will make your movement steps a little bit more strong in its stride. Amazing. Okay, my beautiful Amethyst group. That was really cool, and you guys were my guinea pigs, so I hope that was insightful. Please let me know if this resonated and helped in any way, and leave a comment or a like. That'd be really helpful. But to leave you off, I'm going to read your quote one last time. Independence. If you want to get rich, you son of a bitch, I'll tell you what to do. Never sit down with a tear or a frown and paddle your own canoe. I love you, my pal one. Until next time, this is Lotus. Ciao. Welcome, my pal 2 that picked the Mica. We're going to go into your reading. So let's start with your pocketbook quotation. If you don't know what we're doing, you just skipped right to the number. Please check out the intro. It'll give you an idea of what's happening here. So since you guys are pal 2, I'm just going to flip the book twice, and we'll see what my thumb lands on, and that will be the prompt for your reading. All right. It says, not for myself. This one here, this one here, and I'll read it to you. Not for myself I make this prayer, but for this race of mine that stretches forth from shadowed places, dark hands for bread and wine. Count T. Cullen, Pagan Prayer. I'll read it one more time. Not for myself I make this prayer, but for this race of mine that stretches forth from shadowed places, dark hands for bread and wine. Beautiful. I'm feeling a very humanitarian and Aquarian type of energy. I'm getting activists, anarchists, the freedom fighters, the quote-unquote whistleblowers, the conspiracy, quote-unquote, conspiracy theorists, even though I wouldn't necessarily call you guys that, just trying to give it a name. And the incense you can't necessarily see in the in the camera, but it's blowing south. And that's regeneration, shifting, and transmutation are coming. Become more passionate by sending love to where you need the most healing. The transmutation is coming. So healing the collective, healing society, healing a specific generation. It can talk about therapies. It can talk about any type of creative outlets. There's like a deep prayer for humanity in a sense. Interesting. Let's see what your tarot has to add. So we're going to start off with your guidance cards first. Your prompt is like, what's going on? Wailing Tree. Reconciliations. And that's a 14 that breaks down to a 5, talking about change, transmutation too. That wailing tree is making me think of humanity's sorrow. You know, like the destruction and the production of what we do. The duality within our species that actually makes the friction for our world to exist in the way that it does. I'm getting like an earth cry. I don't know if that makes sense, but it's like you might be very sensitive to the elemental energies, in particular earth And I'm getting like a sensation of you feeling parts of the earth crying. I don't know what that means. I hope if that resonates, please let me know what that is. Grief and mourning, a time of necessary losses, reconciliations, exactly the same thing that came up in your quote. How amazing is that? This is a way to honor your experience, to give yourself time to consider all the gifts in it, to put proper closure on it, to really know what you've learned as you walk away from it and into something new. Even in the perception of failure, there is much good to be discovered. However, skipping the stages of loss doesn't get you to reconciliation any faster. In fact, you will discover that you will have more to come back to at some point. So do it all now. Look at it all squarely and honestly and stay with your feelings. Life is not either or, it's both and, this and that. So you can dive in and process this, allow it to become a temporary travel companion on your journey. The feelings that things will bring to the surface will be challenging for sure, yet, like all things, they will pass soon enough, and you will be more enriched by the experience. Wow, both groups are having the same type of energies, completely different vibe, but exact same messaging. Moving forward, this one's about reconciliation with people or places. Maybe this is with about a large community, about forgiveness for unconscious beings. You know, it could be that simple, even though that's not simple. Oh wow, even though it's not simple, hey? Beyond the ordinary, that's exactly what you are. That 5 and 9, right? That change and that spiritual path and evolution, seeing beyond what most can, and then maybe that might be frustrating you in a sense, which is making you feel at odds with your environment or with people. But I feel there's a need to reconcile within yourself the two halves of you, your celestial being and your human being. Beyond the ordinary, the key concepts are the mystical, ineffable part of life, trusting in the invisible world without understanding it, recognizing that some things cannot be known in advance and are not meant to be grasped intellectually, the awareness that everything is as it should be, even if it doesn't make sense. Oh, that's beautiful. That's about that reconciliation and going beyond what you see, trusting in what you feel, and learning to curb how that translates into your tangible reality. And with the people around you also. No matter how hard you try to understand why something happened or how or when it will happen, now is the time to surrender to not knowing. The mystery is a mystery because it is at present unknowable and as yet unmade. Even its potential is impossible to understand. What is waiting for you lies beyond the ordinary, but it has not yet chosen its shape, its path, and the manner by which it will be delivered. Your job is to stay the course, allowing whatever comes to be exactly as it will, without trying to ascertain anything in advance. Woo! They're really asking you to embrace this reconciliation of sorts, whether that's within yourself or with other people. To seeing beyond the veil, beyond the ordinary, beyond what people show you sometimes, and trust in that knowing. To be able to give of yourself again, or with this person again. Or thing. Okay, let's see what is next. We have an angel card. Hahuya, King of Wands, God the good in himself. Protection, prevents discovery of secret crimes, saves exiles. Interesting, and I feel like this is about you. And this activist humankind first quote that they said, like, it's like, sorry, let me read the quote one more time. Not for myself I make this prayer, exactly, but for this race of mine that stretches forth from shadowed places, dark hands for bread and wine. It can be specifically talking about minority activism, the natives, black lives, impoverished communities, uneducated places, racist communities, etc., stuff like that. This is what this is making me feel like, and this is probably why I was feeling that wailing tree of you feeling the earth crying. And I feel like that's humanity in a sense, and you being able to see beyond this veil of being that protector. And I love how duality can play so perfectly sometimes together. You know, when you have that, let's say for example, oh my god, they're bringing me up to so many animations. I'm sorry. Part 1 was Madagascar. You guys are Sing, the animation Sing. And specifically Sing 2. Specifically Sing 2. The gorilla, which is played by Egerton, I can't remember his name, the British dude that plays in Kingsman. Love him. Anyways, Rocket Man, the guy who played Rocket Man. So he plays the gorilla, and his father, I think, is Idris. I never get his name right. Idris, you know him. The British beautiful black man who plays his father. And his father is a thug, like straight up thug, thief, robbery, etc. But they get into this situation in Sing 2 where they sort of need like private protection. And because of the fact that his father loves his son so damn much, he was like, yep, he took care of everybody. Like, you're not getting in, you're not getting out. There's like this, in what something could have been, or what something was used in a negative sense or in a negative way is now used in a positive way to further the good. You know, that's what I'm getting. It's almost, that's that activist, that anarchy. It's that like rage against the machine and rage against the people. You know, it's creating chaos for a purpose, destruction or protection or whatever the case is. I will break a few laws if this is for the greater good. You know, that I know that this is the right thing. That's what I'm getting. Wow, that was a long way for me to get that out. Interesting. Okay, and then you have your fortune, little fortune card. Not the right time. Interesting. Maybe that's what you're feeling. Maybe you have to pause right now. Maybe that's what it is. Like, you're wanting to do this, and maybe that's what's making you frustrated. It's like, I can't act yet. That's what this is making me feel of, the not the right time. Your intentions and everything is correct, and what you're doing is right. But I feel like you're still having to like build up something or collect more, for lack of a better example, because I'm giving this whole activists and protests and, you know, for the people. So maybe you need more signatures, maybe you need more bodies, maybe you need a different type of status for these signatures to be noticed. Something along those lines. There's something that needs to be gathered still, or more of, that will help on your journey or on your quest for revolution. And reconciliation from both parties. It's like, we need to come to a common ground right now. This is the problem. Speaking of duality, wow. Okay, let's get into your Gypsy Oracle cards. We have frivolity. That's what you feel. People have been frivolous, naive, unconscious, biased, ignorant, and you're wanting to change this. Yeah, because of your wisdom, because of what you know. Old woman, because of your wisdom, because of what you've experienced, because of what you've understood, studied, examined, witnessed, you're like, I'm not going through this again, this injustice that I can see that people might be blind to right now, that might be affecting generations that have fought for their freedoms forever and our freedoms, and this is how they're gonna go out, you know? Like, there's none of that. You're angry. Like, angry, and you're using it properly is what I'm getting. And then letter. When I was speaking about signatures, right? Writing complaints, getting petitions, like stuff like that. It's like you're waiting for this information. Or again, gathering more. There's something to be had, but it's like you're leading the troops is what I'm getting. In a sense. Yeah, it's waiting to get out this information and also waiting to get something. There is this frivolity. Maybe that frivolity can have two meanings for you, my friend. It could be that you might have been slacking a little bit because you were more about the doing, and there's certain like legalities and procedures that you still have to finish before you can do it like legit for it to be recognized in a sense. So be mindful of that. Again, how to let me know how this resonates, because this is an interesting reading for me. Cool. All right, let's see what your Madame Endora has to say. The gate. A barrier keeps you from your goal. Yeah, it's this. It's the people involved, mind you, like whoever it is that you're fighting or or speaking up for or against, you know, and that's not the right time. This is, again, gathering information, waiting for that key piece or something. There's something that's gonna either come in or you're waiting for or is needed, bottom line, to allow this this project or this goal to to come to its fruition in the most successful way. Caduceus, you will receive news from afar. I just have to laugh because I sometimes, like, I have these cards, we don't remember all of the message, right? And I'm like, this is what this letter is. You will receive news from afar. This is what you're waiting for. This is the barrier. This is why it's not the right time yet. This is why they're asking you to keep everything still protected. And it's going to prevent the discovery of these secret little things that are happening. Maybe this is from somebody that, you know, like leaked emails. You know what I'm getting? Like when I'm talking about activists, conspiracy theorists, all of whatever this is, this is my pile. If you are fighting the good fight in any way possible, this is for you. Stuff is coming in. This feels good. Like there is a momentum and a rolling through, right? It's just a matter of being a little bit, like I said, a little bit more particular about certain details, procedures, legalities. And your I Ching has to add, create power, exert your will. That is exactly what you're doing. You are creating this power to exert your will. This is also the patience, right? So this is where you are. Like this is all that's happening. This reconciliation within yourself to ease a little bit and not allow yourself to take on all the frustrations of what you feel, very heavily empathic, to release that, to Spirit of just recognizing, we see that this frivolity, how they've just wasted or misused or not seeing and not taking and being appreciative of what they have, or how it's, you know, freedom and choices, etc. And you're creating this power, which is exerting your will, which is why I said this wise old woman is you, my friend. It's like the expertise and wisdom, your knowledge, your experience, your time is what is leading this, and which is you are this protector, right? This protects from the discovery of secret crimes, saves exiles, you know? And that letter information coming in, you will receive news from afar. You'll be able to see beyond the veil. And maybe this is what it is. It's like, I know something is coming, and I need to make sure that I do not rush into this haphazardly because I can see the outcome in a sense, you know? It's like, I know this will work, but you just need to have a little bit more, I want to use a different word than patience. I'm trying my hardest. Have a little bit more reserve when it comes to exerting your energy in a way that would take away from the focus. Insight, moderate rigid ideas. Look at this. This is it, right? Moderate rigid ideas, and this is what I think you're trying to do. It is literally beyond the ordinary. News is receiving from afar. Maybe you've petitioned for something or brought in something, and insight is either what you receive back or what you've sent out is what you're trying to do, is to moderate these rigid ideas of the way that this has been functioning is not working. It's not functioning. That's the point. So something needs to be revised, revisited, re-edited, all of those things. And that's either on your end or on the end of, never mind, it's going to be on both ends. Let's put it that way. It's on both ends. So whether you're sending something out, revisit it, re-edit it, re-look at it, see what is too rigid in your perspective. And vice versa. Once that's sent or they send something back, same deal. It's like to revisit what they have, agree to or not agree to, or what they see, or what their perception is, or perspective is, or their responsibilities are, and then trying to find, again, coming back to this duality, this happy medium of how is this going to work? We need to make this needs to be better. Okay, let's see your astrological influence. Nice. Sun, being. That's exactly right. Your essence of energy, that force energy, your self-awareness, self-assuredness, that creativity, that masculine force energy, the expressiveness of your doing, self-sufficiency, that heartfelt, beautiful expression of the ego. Cracking open to shine. It's like that is the energy that you are embodying and asking you to embody, to keep that within you, to keep that fire that is pushing you to do all this good work. Don't allow yourself to burn out. I don't think you will. I think you have, I think this injustice is what's fueling you regardless. I don't think you're going to burn out, but maybe there is like that Icarus thing, the one who flew too close to the sun, right? It's about tempering and mediating what I was talking about, that energy to moderate rigid ideas. And I don't think it's rigid, but it could be so focused and so self-determined that you end up partially being blinded by your own light, So be mindful of that. Great, let's go into your tarot. First card out is the King of Swords. The World in reverse. The Nine of Pentacles in reverse. The Knight of Pentacles underneath the King of Swords. The Stars underneath the World in reverse. And the Knight of Cups underneath the Nine of Pentacles. It's reiterating back to the same thing that they've already talked about. It's, being clear, concise, direct, but can be a little overly focused, that King of Swords, but knows where he's going. And then going into the world, it's sort of, again, coming back to now is not the right time, that clock, that compass, that barrier. And that's why it's like sitting, it's like, I can't move yet. There's that frustration. That's the Nine of Pentacles also. It's like, it's almost ready, I'm here. I'm ready, it's almost ready, and you're ready to go. But again, talking about gathering, right? That Nine of Pentacles, for me in general, in the reverse, is like, it's wanting more people around to end the singledom, so to speak, the lone fight. And I think that's a gathering of people. Maybe it's worldly people, maybe it's around the world. It doesn't matter. There's something about needing to bring in more, in a sense. And then underneath that King of Swords, we have that Knight of Pentacles, which is the slowest moving knight and one of the fastest moving energies in the deck, the Sword and the Pentacles, It's like slowing down, that slow trot to sort of re-look at, like we said, re-examine, revisit what we may have missed in the stars, about what the actual goal is. Have I been too, again, locked into the sun and needing that shadow essence for me to actually see something in a different light, which brings me back to that moderate rigid ideas, and then that brings you into the Knight of Cups, which is like an emotional new beginning. Like it feels a little bit, it feels a lot more warmly supported as opposed to a financial backing. Like that's the example I'm giving, meaning like, yes, I need investors and support and sponsors, whatever that case is, but doing it on my own is still fucking hard. So once you have people there, or people who are on your team or in your fight with you, it's an easier way to push forward with your own, with the goal, with the task. Amazing. So it feels like you're doing exactly what you need to be doing, but they're asking you to pause for now. pause and really, like we said, it's the re's. Re-edit, revisit, redo, doesn't matter. Re-look at, say revisit at least, same thing. So yeah, keep that in mind. News is coming in though from afar, so be patient for that also. Okay, and then from the answers you seek, to close it off. Look, your dreams are within reach. A wish is granted. Amazing. You gotta pause. Spirit, I'm by your side. And this is also thinking about spirit, but people, like people coming in. I'm by your side. That emotional backing and support is what I was referencing, you know? Sunday brings in calm. Maybe that's when that news will arrive. You know, that news from afar. When it comes to needing that missing ingredient or getting that missing piece or that thing that would solidify a more victorious ending, or meaning that the percentage is higher, you know, for a successful conclusion. Interesting. Your dreams are within reach. Let's close it off with rereading you back your quote. Not for myself I make this prayer, but for this race of mine that stretches forth from shadowed places, dark hands for bread and wine. That's so beautiful. My collective of pile 2, my Mica pile, I hope that was helpful. And if it was, please let me know in the comments what this was. Leave a heart or a thumb or whatever the frig it is on these things. I'm sending you so much love. Until next time, ciao. Welcome, my pile 3, who picked the African Jasper. We're going to go into your pocketbook of quotations. Again, if you just skip to pile 3, please listen to the intro. It gives you a little bit of an idea of what we're doing. Since you are the third pile, I'm going to flip it 3 times, and where my thumb stops is what the quote's going to be, which is going to be your prompt for your reading. Passion, it says. I'll pause that there for you, or you can pause it, I mean. Passion. It is with our passions, as it is with fire and water. They are good servants, but bad masters. Sir Roger Lestrange. Aesop 38. Don't know what that is. Interesting. So Spirit wants you not to let your passions take control or to override all of the logic. It's for you to temper those energies possibly. Is to try to find that temperament. To be aware of your temperament, of what things trigger certain negative responses out of you, and Spirit is asking you to dissect where that thought, process, feeling, idea is coming from, is stemming from. Find the seed point. They said find the seed point of your anger, of the anger. They're giving me this like, no. Don't touch me. No. Like that little kid, that's the vibe I'm getting. No. Yeah, it's like, it's interesting. Every group has gotten an animation, and the animation that's came up for is The Mitchells. It's an animation on Netflix. It's really brilliant, by the way. But there is this one scene where the family's getting attacked by electronics, technically. It's Pal is the electronic dominant one in this particular movie, and Pal has taken, now everything in the superstore technically has some sort of freaking electrical or microchip in it, so everything moves, and then therefore Pal can control it. And so the mother gets like sort of kind of pushed into this massage chair, and she's like, ooh, and just gets stuck. Even though it's like a war, chaotic things are happening, she could die, and she's still like, ooh. And the daughter's like, mom. She's like, no. It's that feeling. Like, they're giving it to me in a comedic way, but that's the sense that I'm getting. It's like a stubbornness is the point. There's a stubbornness to the anger, and you're not allowing yourself to look at where that stubbornness, which is the seed point of where that's coming from, possibly. Okay, let's see what your cards have to say. First one is Eyes of the Eagle, rising above the fray. Number 9. 18 reduces down to a 9. I'm seeing a perspective that you have that many don't. I'm also seeing the possibility of your wisdom allowing, your wisdom that brings in a type of silence that will allow you to not engage anymore with that stubbornness or that anger. It's like rising above that that fray of what triggers you? Can you see beyond that? Can you see beyond what's happening or what's poking your buttons right now, and really gain the bigger perspective of what this is for? Temper those passions, right? And then we have Wish Upon a Star, number 39, which reduces to a 3. So 9 and 3. Community, coming together, collaborations, divine inspiration. 9, spirituality, guidance, growth, path, journey. I'm getting an interesting feeling of wanting to be seen clearly. Of wanting to feel or be received from somebody's heart instead of their eyes only. To get somebody to feel you, it's a really heavy feeling for me right now. I want to feel loved for who I am, not what I do or what I look like. The Eye of the Eagle is about protection, inherent trust. Trust that you are ready for whatever fortune has placed before you. Even if you feel not yet properly equipped to meet its challenges, your willingness to say yes to spirit has nothing to do with how well outfitted you are. Hesitating, on the other hand, will suck the air from under your wings and make you lose altitude. You are called now to trust your heart and your instincts, to move fearlessly and not waver. The time is right, and no harm can come your way if your motives are pure and you act courageously. I feel like you're just sort of stepping away from things that did not see you, from things that didn't feel you, from things that misunderstood you or placed their own projections on you in some way to fulfill some sort of void for them. Wish Upon a Star's key concepts are intentions based on your desires and aspirations, the act of consciously committing to a vision, sacrificing something of value, gambling on yourself, trusting that dreams can become reality, the importance of daydreams. Allow yourself to dream and play with different realities, even if it seems impossible. If it calls you and feels good, why not choose it? Wish upon a star, then live as if your wish has already come true. Know that these beautiful dreams you have been nurturing are in the process of becoming real. Don't forget that the act of wishing, dreaming, and intending is more important than figuring out the how. It shows the universe you're serious about playing the game of life and you trust the essence of the partnership. Remember, every dream you believe in and hope for is a call to a twinkling star. The answer will come, sometimes swiftly, sometimes slowly. No wish is ever wasted. Oh, that's beautiful. And I guess that was that feeling I was getting of wanting to be seen, to feel loved for who you are. It's coming in. Keep your daydreams. Fly above that fray. Beautiful. Then we have a tarot angel card. Hariel, 9 of Swords, the comforting God. Purification, protection from impious religious sentiments. Interesting. Yeah, it's again coming back to that raising above the fray, right? It's that the comforting God is protection from the rigid believers, the controlled beings, the ones that don't have an open mind, an open heart, and an open perspective. It's releasing you from those people or things that I feel that you have been attached to for a while, which is not making you feel seen, making you feel lonely. Wanting and wishing for home, for comfort, for a companion. Okay, this is your fortune. Unlikely. I'm getting an unlikely that you're going to stay where you are. That's what I'm getting the most, because they're bringing me to this gripping of the rope. You know how it's about to just sever, right? Because you're pulling away from that. And it's like an unlikely I'm going to stay here. Unlikely this is going to hold. you know? So I need to allow myself to purify myself and keep my dreams alive. Keep wishing for what I want. It is not too big or too frivolous or too out there, or I'm too picky, or whatever the case is. Spirit is bringing in what you're asking for. Keep wishing on that star. Keep daydreaming. All right, let's see what your Gypsy oracles have to add. Cheerfulness. Yay. Nice. The Lover. Oh, wow. And Fortuna. Fortune. Oh, wow, that's amazing. It's like once you raise above this and you let go of that tie, like you break that string, so to speak, you are protected and your wish comes true, quite literally. It's like, yes, this joyous thing, I've let this go. I found new people or new acquaintances or new something that is bringing in this love and this passion, and they're showing it back to me. Like, this is that serenader, right? They're coming to them. Meaning he's coming to you. Do you know what I mean? They're coming to you to serenade you. To bring in this beautiful fortune, you're just going to feel like, oh my God, I've just been given a gift from the universe. Look at this, wish upon a star and that fortune coming right in. As soon as you rise above this, that cheerfulness and that light and that ease, releasing the unlikely ties that kept you in a sense of feeling whipped, metaphorically, you know? Even if there were soft whips or soft taps, it was just like a constant, like that Chinese, I don't know, apologies if this is incorrect, but I think it's Chinese torture with that water dripping on the forehead. It's that kind of feeling. It's like, even though on its own, it's not anything as super intrusive, but the continuous repetition of something just tapping you in the same spot, you not being able to move, and I can imagine how that could be very much of a mind fuck, you know? So I want you to really, really allow yourself to leave this situation, people, dynamic, and keep wishing for what you want. Keep desiring what you want. Set your affirmations, do your prayers, have your beautiful daydreams, write it out, script it out, sing it out, dance it out, whatever the case is, but it's coming in. And like I said, coming back to that, wanting to feel loved, be loved, seen for it, you do. That Lover was like, wow. And when it comes to these Gypsy cards, you guys definitely got the most across the board happy, you know, out of the three piles. Not that the other ones were bad. It was just this one in particular is just like, yes, 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 you know. Others were like, yeah, ooh, okay, you know. That's the best way I could say it. Okay, let's see what Madame Endora has to add. Look at this. The Unicorn, good fortune and friendships. What did I say about that? You know, new people, new acquaintances, new lovers, good fortune. Again, twice you have that, my pile 3. Yes. Oh, yeah. Bring it right back to your quote. Emotions are at their peak, right? And they're talking about temperance and tempering that emotion. Let me read it again. It is with our passions as it is with fire and water. They are good servants, but bad masters. So don't be, you know, try not to let your emotions take the better of you again. And emotions at their peak, again, it's just about tempering that, knowing that you are making the right choice for yourself. So if you get guilt tripped into thinking that your decision is not one that is going to be helpful for them, F that noise. Right now it's about you. You are wanting, you're needing, you should, based on what I'm seeing here. You do you, my friend. There's no should. My suggestion would be for you to allow that rope to break, to sever, to fray. To fray, double fray, rising above the fray. Exactly, rising above that broken connection. Woo! Love those coincidences. Amazing. Let's see what the I Ching has to add. Oh my gosh. Family. Express substance in your words. Woo. And that's what you're wanting. That's what I think you've been lacking. And this is what this is coming in. And also a reminder for you that when you're either making your decision known to separate, to leave, to go your own way, that you speak with substance, that you give the real reason as to the why it does not work for you, your boundaries, etc. Or even if there's no explanation needed, it's just whatever is expressed to you, you make sure that you do not respond in a retaliative way, where your anger gets the best of you again, where your emotions take its peak and it just ends up being the tsunami of shit that didn't need to happen because it's already difficult to begin with. Just trust in you and know it's for your highest good. The decision that you're making, that you're wanting to make, that Spirit's urging you to make. Collective force. Be generous to people. That's what I was talking about here. It's like not allowing these emotions to make you be as, maybe possibly as rude as they're being, or as inconsiderate, or as projecting as they are, you know? Just to be really mindful of what you choose to say within this. It feels like an altercation, if I'm being frank. And that collective force of, maybe you might even feel like you're getting ganged up on in a sense, meaning like it could be a group of people, but I mean, ganging up doesn't need to be multiple, just meaning in the way that the force of the words or how they can, it's almost like, for example, I'll give you the example of my mother, okay? There's certain phrases that, because they've been like that slow drip of what I was talking about, that anytime I hear somebody say that, my body instantly goes, hee! Like, it's an instant cat back up, you know, like ready to frickin' fight. It's a response that was me when I was younger. Granted, it is not so drastic now, but it's now more of a recognition where I'm like, ooh, I know this is uncomfortable for me. And I know that right now I might say something that I'm gonna regret, so what do? I leave. Meaning I go outside of the room, I take a second, I take literally 7 minutes, that's what I do, and I chill the fuck out, and I come back and I'm like, is it worth it for me to say this? Will they hear what I need to say with the weight I'm feeling it? If there's a no, I shut up and I allow it. If there's a yes, then I will continue, but I'll be much more calm and I can address it. So do what you need to do to address whatever ways that these emotions stir up for you, however they peak within you during this situation. Let's see what astrological energy you might need to embody. 12th house, surrender. Surrendering to what's happening, surrendering to your temperament also, to allow the subconscious mind to be in play, but you to be conscious of that subconscious mind, to have those compassions, again, dreaming again, karma, forgiveness, letting go of baggage, letting go of the guilt, continue to pray. Like there's a deep want for something that has not been in your life in the sense that in the way that you would have wanted it. And I feel there's a heavy emphasis on the love portion of your life. It feels more specifically a partner, a romantic partner, but this can be in any sense of the word, but that's the strongest energy that I'm feeling. Amazing. Let's see what your tarot has to say about this. We have the Hermit, Three of Pentacles, Five of Pentacles in reverse, Two of Wands underneath the Hermit, Seven of Wands underneath the Three of Pentacles, ouch, and the Three of Swords underneath the Five of Pentacles in reverse. Interesting. I just heard when I put that card down, they're like, you're not the one who's going to be in pain. It's going to be them. So, side note, what I'm getting here is, again, echoing back to the same energy. It's asking you to step above, to recluse, to follow your own star with that Hermit. Three of Pentacles, again, which is that reminding me of this cheerfulness of finding your people that work better for you because you're coming from a place of, this didn't work for me, so I'm now leaving this Five of Pentacles, this lack mentality, this lack energy, this lack reciprocation of emotions and time, for that matter. That leads you into this Two of Wands, which is what you're doing. It's planning, venturing out. Where do I want to go? Where do I want to move to? What do I want to feel? And now you're fighting for this, in a sense, being like, I'm going after what I'm seeking now. I'm actively pursuing what I may have just allowed myself to settle for before. Good fortune is on my side. Therefore, this Three of Swords, heartbreak, so to speak, mind over heart, is there's a possibility it's not going to be like smooth. We know this, right? Because emotions at repeat, collective force, be generous with people. It's like you're still going to have to show this compassion when I feel like you want to be like, F you. Get the F out of my face. I'm done. In a sense, it doesn't have to be that drastic, but that's the feeling. It's like, I don't even want to address this anymore because you've already made me feel, or this situation made me feel like lacking, and now I'm going to feel guilty for the decision that I want to make. That's what I'm getting with this Three of Swords in reverse. I am going to get a clarifier. No other group did, but I do want one extra card on that Three of Swords just to make sure that I am not missing any other information that may want to be said. Like, I don't think you're going to be in heartbreak about leaving. Don't get me wrong. I feel like you're going to be nostalgia about, like, past people and energies in your life. That's natural and common to, like, what's, you know, to separate from something or somebody that's been a part of your life for a long time. Emotions don't just disappear, you know, but, like, decisions still need to be made. Action still needs to be had. My life still needs to be lived. Two cards came out. Yeah, look at that movement. Like I'm saying, exactly what I said. A new opportunity to peace out and move forward. That's it. Like, that's what you want. You're like, this is what this Three of Swords is. I'm not feeling bad for this. I'm taking my opportunity to see now. I know where to go. I can break this tie. I know what I've been settling for. And now I can move towards the direction I want, which is me in charge of my life with the type of love that's going to honor and love and see me for how I feel and what I want to give to them. It is even, it is balanced, it is full, it is nurturing, it is masculine, and it is feminine. It is beautiful and communicative. Okay, let's see what the answers you seek have to add. Pause, which is exactly what the Hermit is. And that Two of Wands also, it's a planning still. It's not about the going just yet. Wow. I love you. And that's what the Lover is here, the Three of Pentacles, going after what you want now, finding who is the most fitting for you. And I feel like this person's been looking for you too, my friend, if that energy sits with you. And then we have time to dance. That's what I'm getting. Time to play. Time to go. Time to move. Time to move. Yeah, move their body. Move the energy. Shift what's been happening. Increase the dynamics of more love in your life. You know, this movement, this good fortune. Oh, that's beautiful. To read your quote one last time to close it off for you, my beautiful collective of Pile 3. Passion. It is with our passions as it is with fire and water. They are good servants, but bad masters. Do not let these emotions master you. You are the master of them. Do not let anybody sway you from the decision that you're making that you know is for your best and highest good. Dance. Move that energy. Spirit loves you. The person who you're moving towards, energetically speaking, is already in love with you. Your energy at very least. And you're heading exactly where you want to go, my beautiful collective of Pile 3. I hope that was helpful. If it was, please let me know in the comments. Leave a like. That'd be really helpful. I also just want to get to know you better. So, anyways, until next time, I love you. This is Lotus. Ciao.